Support the businesses that support us.
Head over to GU Filmhouse Adelaide. They hook us up all the time.
Oh, so many times. They're amazing. 128 Hindley Street, Adelaide, or you can check them out at gufilmhouse.com.au.
And want the whitest teeth around?
Yes, I do, Yasmin. Yes, I do. And thanks to the Aussie Smile Co. Organic Activated Charcoal Teeth Whitening Kit, you've got yours.
I've got mine and it's incredible.
Oh, yes, you look sensational.
Thank you.
It's a world first organic formula. You can check it out now, the AussieSmileCo.com.
Short and simple movie reviews. Hosted by Andy and Yasmin. Answering the question, is this movie for you?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Is This Movie For You podcast. It's the podcast that reviews movies simply and answers if the movie is for you. My name is Andy. There is Yasmin, and this time around we have reviewed Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
Yay, I'm so excited. I was so excited to see this movie. I've been hanging out for the second one to come out.
Yeah, we've obviously been going to the cinemas quite a lot lately and seen all the trailers for the movie promoting when it was going to be coming out, and we finally got to see it.
Finally got to see it. We saw the first one a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And it was totally awesome. Definitely, if you can, see the first one before you see this one, or you'll sort of be like, what's it all about?
Yeah. But before you get into the storyline, Channing Tatum was in it. How good was that?
So good.
I don't know about you, but I was like kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was super excited.
That's where you see some abs, man.
Yeah. So the Kingsman, think of it as a James Bond type scenario. The Kingsman is like an MI6 sort of spy agency sort of thing, but even more top secret than that.
Yep.
So all our favourites from the last movie are back. You got Eggsy, Merlin, and a couple of the other characters. They're sort of all just going about their business. And then this movie's bad guy, Poppy, played by Julianne Moore. She does an awesome job in this role. She decides to blow up all the places. Luckily, Eggsy was out at the time, so he didn't get blown up. Merlin, who was like the tech guy, he wasn't important enough to have his house blown up, as he said.
Yeah.
So then they've got to go into their doomsday protocol, which leads them to head over to, I think it was Kentucky. I think that's where it was, where the Statesman, which is like their brother company, but in America, were over there, and then they had to sort of convince the Statesman that they were spies and all that sort of thing, and then they decide to help each other to defeat the bad guy.
Now, I don't want to keep on talking about Channing Tatum, but when he did come into the movie, were you just like...
I was like, he's put on weight.
Yeah, and he's got clothing on.
Disappointment.
No, it was amazing. He did a really good job. May I say, though, like what everyone is talking about with the movie, he's not in enough.
Yeah, he's not in it heaps.
Yeah.
I mean, he does play a bit of a role, but he's not one of the starring characters, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely not. But we can't wait to maybe see him a bit more in Kingsman 3.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, they did leave the door open at the end of that for Kingsman 3, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, that door was wide open.
Yeah.
That door was pretty much saying that they've written the script and ready to roll for filming.
Yeah, they've like knocked the whole front passageway down and it's like, just come on in.
Yeah, exactly right.
So a few of the other stars in the movie, you've got Taron Egerton, who plays Eggsy.
Yep.
He is such an awesome actor in these films. I think like he just totally makes it for me.
Do you reckon the film was actually made around him and his name?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking that.
Yeah.
Then you've got Mark Strong, who plays Merlin.
Yep.
Julianne Moore, as I said, plays Poppy. She does a really, really good job. And then the Statesman, you've got Channing Tatum, Halle Berry, Pedro Pascal. He's sort of your main character.
Yep.
That you see the most for the Statesman. And Jeff Bridges is in there as well. Probably my favourite character of the movie besides Eggsy would have to be Elton John.
Oh, yes.
He was so good.
Oh, my God. You know what? I reckon the best part of the movie was actually Elton John.
He was friggin' hilarious. He was so good.
He was like the glue to all the comedy in that movie.
If he was not in the movie, it would have been pretty crap.
It would have been a little bit bland, I think.
Yeah, he was just so good.
Yeah.
And the outfits and his colourful language was hilarious.
Yes.
He just is like a true showman. Did so good.
If he doesn't win awards from acting to music to comedy, I don't know what's wrong with the world. I'm
pretty sure he's won a fair few awards and like a knighthood and stuff like that.
Yeah, but for the movie.
Oh, I thought you meant in general.
Yeah, no. We could spend hours talking about his previous awards.
Shout out to Seld.
Yeah. Good day to you.
Okay, so what did you think of the movie?
I loved it. What did I think about it? Action adventure. It just nailed it the whole lot for me.
Yes, yeah. From like the first, I reckon, 10 seconds, it was like full on action scene, chases, fights.
The sound was great because we saw it in VMAX.
Yeah.
So it was like surround sound times about 10.
Yeah.
So that was cute. The music was amazing. The soundtrack was really awesome. Mate, let's go back to Eggsy a bit. When he first came out at the start of the movie, I got a bit excited. I got really excited.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's starting. It's like you've gone to a theme park. There's a brand new roller coaster there. You've lined up. You've then sat down in it. And then as it starts to move, you're like, oh my God, I'm now on this amazing roller coaster. It was like that with Eggsy when he rolled out. What I do want to say though, if you haven't seen the first one and you need to like sort of know a bit of a, all round thing, you said a bit earlier, it is like a James Bond sort of type scenario. But for me, it's the new and improved James Bond.
A way cooler James Bond.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Yeah, I don't know what the other James Bond is going to be doing when that comes out, but this one was amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. And there's a lot of comedy in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was so good. One part I didn't really enjoy, had a bit of a political message behind it, I thought, which was a bit, it doesn't matter if I tell you this. So the bad guy Poppy is like the world's biggest drug dealer, and so she's laced all of her drug products with a poison that turns into a virus, and if they want the cure for the virus, then she wants the president of the United States to legalize all drugs and make it taxable and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's
because she wanted to go legit after many years of hiding.
Yeah, she wanted to be able to be, the most successful businesswoman in the world and that sort of thing. So
what we're basically saying is like a lot of it seemed, you could imagine it being real until that bit.
Yeah, and it was just sort of that whole, legalize it. The only reason the government says it's bad is because they can't tax it. Like you hear that so often now from people who take drugs that like, it's all just, it's just a government conspiracy because they can't tax it, and cigarettes and alcohol, do so much more damage, and sugar does so much more damage to the health system than the drugs do. And that was one part I didn't really like about it, but I guess they've got to have a bad guy doing something.
Yeah, but take away the politics.
Yeah, it was very political.
Yeah, take away the politics. It was entertaining as.
Yeah.
So, okay. Is that what you thought of it?
No, so I loved it. I loved it.
Okay.
Besides that, I loved it.
Yep.
I love the action scenes. The CGI was really good.
Yep.
The music was really powerful. I thought all the actors did a great job.
Yep. More Channing Tatum.
Yeah, it could have been more Channing Tatum.
Yep.
I actually like Eggsy though. I do. He's awesome. He's a cool kid.
Yeah, he is.
Come up from the gutters, and now he's this like refined man in a suit and tie with the glasses and all of that.
And of course the Norwegian or Swedish wife.
Yeah, I think she was Swedish. And the princess.
And the most how do you say it? The most outlandish part of the first one was where she promised him if he saved the world he'd get something, and then that came back as
it did.
in the second one. If you haven't seen the first one, go see the first one. You'll understand exactly what I'm saying.
It's the funniest ending to a movie ever.
All right, who would you take to see it?
I think anyone who loves a bit of action, a bit of comedy,
spy films.
Yeah, spy films.
Yep.
If you love CGI, chases,
light entertainment.
Yeah, definitely like a feel-good movie. There's not really a sad ending or anything like that. You didn't leave the cinema disappointed, in my view. What do you think?
Well, I thought that we'd bring along a mate from work, Kale. He's another radio announcer.
And his lovely girlfriend.
And his lovely girlfriend, Chanel. They enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say you're close friends, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem at all. Boy, girl, head along there. There is something for everyone. Hot dogs wise, what are you going to do?
Okay, I'm going to say 3.5 hot dogs for me.
Why?
I don't know.
That's all right. That's all right. We can keep it at that. I'm going to say 4. I know a lot of movies I say 4, but like if I walk out like happy and entertained, I'm a 4 man.
Yeah.
4 hot dogs for me.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it the 3.5. Just like I would have given it 4, but it was just that little bit too political for me. Like I said, maybe could have done without that. And I don't think it was quite as good as the first one. I totally love the first one. I love this one as well, but just not quite as much. I'd say the first one's a 4 for me. This one's probably a 3.5.
Is it one of those things where they just it's the sequel thing that wasn't as good as the... You know how there's a lot of movies where, the second one just really dies off from the first one. The original one is always better.
Yeah, and I think the storyline of the second with, the bad guy who's trying to take down the whole world.
Yeah.
They're pretty identical stories in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise I loved it.
Oh,
Great
cool.
movie. Definitely go and see it.
Beautiful work. All right. Well, if you're heading along to the movies to see the movie, that sounded weird, but anyway, we're going to go with it. Let us know your review. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well, @Is This Movie For You? Love to hear from you. Let us know of any other movies, any feedback on this particular podcast as well. And don't forget, leave your reviews, Yasmin.
Leave it on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Tell us how much you love us or maybe how much you don't. But just give us 5 stars. Come on, people.
Please. And you can send your shout-outs through, like I said, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, @Is This Movie For You? We'll catch you next time with our next review. Could be a trailer, could be a movie, and we'll see you at the movies.
See you there, guys.
Is This Movie For You podcast is part of the Ozcast Network.